After feeling that something wasn't right, our next guest decided to seek medical attention, but never could have imagined that would lead to her being diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer at just 30 years of age.
Niamh Noonan is now sharing her story in the hopes of helping others, and she joins us now alongside Dr. Sonja Bobar. Thank you both so much for joining us on the show this morning. Niamh, it's delightful to see you. I know we know each other from our Breast Cancer Ireland work, but you were so young, 30 years of age, with this shock diagnosis. Can you tell us when you felt something just wasn't right with your body?
Yeah, so it was, I felt a golf ball sized lump. It was November 2023, and it was just awkward in a spot, you know, under my armpit. So I was uncomfortable and went to my GP, and she said, let's get you sent for an urgent referral, which 10 days is normally an urgent referral, but it took 11 weeks, which...
11 weeks?
Yeah, so...
Why was that?
I think maybe it was Christmas time, but it shouldn't be that, you know.
No.
No. So
I'd say that was a difficult Christmas as well.
Yeah, to be honest, I had felt little pea-sized lumps in my breast earlier that year as well, and I had went to the breast clinic and I got a physical examination. No ultrasound or anything was done, so they just said, you're too young, it's probably thick breast tissue. Sent me on my way, and I was like, grand, you know, that's fine. But 6 months later, in the same breast, in the same areas, there was lumps there. And so I'll never know if that was the start of it, but...
Well, you were stage 3 when you were diagnosed, so chances are it was.
Yeah, I can never say, but,
yeah.
You know,
Okay,
potentially,
okay.
yeah.
So 11 weeks go by and you're brought in for more tests.
Yeah.
That's when you get the call, and that's when you get the news.
Yeah. So... yeah, I went in thinking, oh, this is probably nothing. I was here already, and they said, this is really worrying. You've three tumours, stage 3, and you're floored with that information. What do you do with that?
Yeah.
Completely blank, and all of it was a blur, and they look at you kind of like, say something, and you don't know what to say.
Did you have anybody with you when...
I had my mum in the room, which was great, but it's a shock to her as well. You know, it's not my family, so... it's not. I got genetic testing. It's not done in genetics either. So it was a shock to everyone.
Just a random diagnosis out of the blue. Because in fairness, you were so young. But I mean, what was your treatment plan then like? Was it? I presume they treated it a lot more urgently then.
Yeah. So I didn't have time to kind of like freeze my eggs or anything like that. I was just straight into it. It was aggressive. The symptoms kind of came on within 2 or 3 months. So it was growing fast. But my treatment plan was, because of where the tumours were, they were so knotted kind of in my nerves and things. So she said if I get surgery, I could lose my arm. So I had to get chemo first to hopefully reduce it, and then get mastectomy.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason you couldn't do anything with eggs was that would have kicked the cancer treatment further down the road.
Yeah, exactly. Would have taken 6 weeks, and my oncologist was like, you don't have 6 weeks to wait.
We need to act now.
Yeah.
Okay. How aggressive was the treatment?
It was very harsh. I lost my hair. I lost, you know, a lot of weight. I couldn't walk down the road without being held up, vomiting, nausea, everything. It breaks you of everything. Yeah.
I suppose physically it was devastating, but psychologically as well, having to deal with the not being able to have children was it's a huge thing for a young woman, being plunged into the hormonal mess of early menopause.
Yeah.
Plus, I suppose the life you thought you would have was just taken from you so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, you're thrown into it. You know, I worked throughout my treatment, but I had to live a slower paced life. I had to work from home. You can't go out and see your friends and all of the things that you do at a young age, you know. So it really just strips you back and makes you kind of live a slower paced life.
Yeah. Sonja, I suppose when it came to... the diagnosis here, she did everything right.
Absolutely.
She found a pea-sized lump, she went to the clinic, she got checked out, and then by the time she got diagnosed, it was stage 3. I mean, something clearly went wrong here, but is it getting more and more common in younger women that breast cancer is being diagnosed?
There's definitely an increase over the last 10 years of about 2.5% over each year annually. However, the survival has increased. But the whole thing with Niamh is that she checked herself. She knew that there was something wrong. She advocated to get checked, go back to her GP, and, you know, making sure that she got treatment.
But lumps, I suppose, aren't the only symptom as well. Can you bring us through what, apart from the actually feeling something physically, what other changes might happen in the breast area that might make you pay attention and maybe get checked out?
Yeah, so as Niamh said, she had 3 out of the 8, signs and symptoms of breast cancer. So the way I would say, even for my own self, when I'm checking, it's LMNOPQRS, because we can never remember those signs and symptoms. So L is lump. So when you're feeling when you're doing a breast examination, and that's men and women that are, you basically check under the armpit, check above the clavicle, check the breast for any lump.
So above the collarbone.
Above the collarbone hair.
Because a lot of people just check the breast and they don't check there or there.
Exactly.
That's where your nodes are.
And because your breast tissue is extending up into that axillary area. So M is mammary. So when you're checking your breast, see if there's any tethering, any puckering, any kind of change from one breast to the next. N is nipple. So as you had said, Niamh, you had nipple inversion, so it actually retracted a little bit. So if there's any nipple change that hadn't been there before, so nipple inversion, any nipple discharge. So it's important in your breast exam to do a little gentle squeeze of your nipple to see if there's any discharge, as well as any excoriation. So any kind of feeling that it's a little bit dry, that's called Paget's disease, and that's also an indication as well. So the next letter is O. So O is orange peel. So if you lift up your arm and your skin looks a little bit like the skin of an orange, that's an indication as well. Okay. P is pain or discomfort. So pain that's persisting beyond a cycle, beyond your menstrual cycle, if you're still menstruating, again, should be investigated. And then the other 2 are R for redness and rash. So if there's inflammatory changes, that it should be investigated, as well as then size and swelling. So if one breast looks different than the next, if it is different in terms of the nipple is a little bit lower than the previous breast, than the breast, the comparison breast, then those are reasons that we should all just get checked. Any of those signs and symptoms should be investigated.
Did you have any of those other symptoms, Niamh?
Yeah, I had 3 of the 8. I had the orange peel, I had the swelling, I had the nipple discharge, and they came on 2 or 3 months. They came on quick, so it was quick and aggressive. And I thought as well, breast cancer is just a lump. I never knew the other signs and symptoms, and I think it wasn't in my circle. I wasn't scrolling and seeing
your
it.
family,
Yeah, exactly. I didn't see it every day, do you know.
No, there's a massive patient-led campaign at the moment with Breast Cancer Ireland to make people aware, younger women specifically aware as well of, I suppose, education is a key really, because had you known of the other symptoms before that, although you did everything right from what I can see, for anyone out there, these education facilities are so needed and so wanted really out there. So if you were to explain to anyone now what it means to be diagnosed and get through, because sometimes I think we hear a diagnosis of breast cancer, people see C word, they panic, but the survival rate is after going up so much even since I've been involved with Breast Cancer Ireland. The treatments, you've had your mastectomies, you've had your chemotherapy, you're on, is it tamoxifen now for the next 5 years, or one of those hormone blocking things? But there's always new treatments coming up.
Of course, there's everything, and we're so lucky that research is advancing so much, but early detection is key, and I never thought it would be me, and you never do until it is. And I think if it's in your circle and you see it, and you know you're looking at the signs and symptoms, or even being aware and having conversation, word of mouth is so important. So even just talking about it and normalising it, and you know, saying, okay, I'll check myself, you know, once a month, it takes 5 minutes, you know, that's all it is.
But it can be done in the shower.
Exactly,
Same time of your cycle every month, it has to be said as well, if you're still having a cycle, because to check for signs and symptoms, because I think if you have a map of your own breasts and your breast area, then you know what's right and what's wrong and what's normal for you.
You know your body better than anything, and I think if something's off, just go get checked. There's no taboo about it.
How are your family now? Bearing in mind, I know they were your support system throughout, but you know, are they more health aware now? Are they more breast aware?
Yeah, of course. And I think even my friends, they all kind of clock on to, oh yeah, actually, you're right. Like, you know, I need to be. And yeah, my family is amazing throughout it. But I think, you're so conscious. I have an older sister as well, so she needs to get checked more regularly now because it was random in my family, you know, so,
How are you now?
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm getting through it. I mean, I think the year and a half of treatment and everything is such a blur of appointments and CTs and being in hospital, and now everything is kind of stopped and slowed down, and I'm not in hospital as often, that you're kind of just dealing with it. I think I was in denial a lot of the time, to be honest.
Physically, are your tumours all gone now? Is there any residual?
There was residual cancer after my mastectomy, so I went on more chemo. Thankfully, that just finished in July. So I'm having a risk-reducing mastectomy next month for myself on my right breast because I'm so young. The risk of getting cancer again is higher. So I'm doing that for myself, peace of mind, and
because the first diagnosis of stage 3 is at your age is very, very frightening. If it's any consolation, one of my best friends, she was diagnosed with stage 3 more than 10 years ago now, and she's flying it. So you know, once the treatments are there, and if it is caught and it is treated properly, I mean, you know, the world's your oyster now, and what you're doing to support people and raise awareness is absolutely fantastic, isn't it? Because everyone should know about it.
Early, as Niamh said, early detection is key. If you find something, go and get it checked.
Go and get 25% of breast cancer cases are between the ages of 25 and 50. So
it's huge.
It's huge. So that's a quarter. So 3/4 are over 50, but a quarter is under 50. So early detection.
If in doubt, check it out.
Absolutely.
Is it indeed? Thank you both so much for joining us on the show this morning. And it's great to see you looking so well. Last time I saw you were running around Leopardstown in the Great Pink Run. So you did it quicker than I did. Anyway, that's for sure that'll be hard. Anyway, if you have any concerns about topics discussed today, please visit your GP.